Put your phone down, Eva. You're just smiling. You don't say anything.
Well, introduce us, please.
Oh, welcome back to another Shit Talk Fridays. I'm Gina.
And I'm Evo. We made it.
I just would like to say that the fact when the camera just jumped on and you were just smiling, it was the creepiest fucking thing ever.
We're live. It's showtime.
Okay. All right. So tonight we're drinking Ravenswood Cabernet Sauvignon. We've been drinking a lot of fucking Cabernets lately.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why, but it just keeps happening that way. But this Cabernet actually has a little bit of like a sentimental value to it. We actually drank this wine the day we celebrated our anniversary, which was like almost 12 years ago at this point. But yeah, so let's cheers.
Cheers. That is some good stuff.
I don't know. I'm biased at this point. At this point, everything just fucking tastes good.
Listen, we've been some Cabernet Sauvignon drinking motherfuckers. Like, this is from California.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm Californian. We've been drinking so much of it.
No, you do not. Hey, you have to go to California to feel Californian.
Can a motherfucker dream?
Okay. So, tonight, we will be discussing a couple of things. We're going to start off the night talking about some things that I guess people are very aware of. And I think Evo will like start us off on that because I tend to get a little fired up, and I don't want to get fired up because a lot of stuff has happened this week.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
No.
Why?
My nose just disappeared. Excuse me 1 second.
Okay. So, welcome to the stream, Edgar. Welcome to the stream, Muncie. So nice to see both of you. Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I know we did. We had some really great family time.
Yes, we did. We definitely did.
Yeah.
We had some good family events that we played.
Yeah.
Family
events that we played?
Family games. We made it an event, you know.
Yeah. So, I think Evo's going to be addressing the elephant in the room for us.
Yep. I'm getting there. Just give me, 2 more seconds. I am so sorry.
I can't tell you, ladies and gentlemen, how much or how many times we have technical difficulties right before we go live, and it gives me, if I can't even explain the level of anxiety that I feel right before, and then like things like that happen, and you're just like, it is just like, now I understand why that guy on that news channel was like, fucking just fucking do it live, yeah, because that is the way that I feel sometimes.
The type of stuff that goes on prior to going live, errors and just things not working out the way they're supposed to, even though you pre-test and, you know, we were down here.
Fucking drives me crazy.
We were down here getting this stuff ready for over an hour, and then last minute, things just started to go wrong. So now we understand when the guy's like, just fuck it, just do it live.
Do it live.
I mean, at this point, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So hi Mom, and hey Stephanie, welcome to the stream.
Oh, welcome to the stream, ladies.
So the elephant in the room that we want to talk about is the party that they got going on Capitol Hill.
Fucking party?
To say the least. I mean, listen, it might as well have been a party the way that it went down. I mean, shit, you know. Because last time Capitol Hill was stormed on like that, you know, the scene was a lot different. And, you know,
when was the last time Capitol Hill was stormed?
Well, when Black Lives Matter went to go protest.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, you know, there was, you know, they had the freaking military out there, you know. And,
yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, what happened, you know, the other day was just a disgrace. And I just want to, you know, talk about how disappointed I am, you know, on just how people are acting. And I just feel like we can do better, you know, as a country, you know, and just, I mean, I understand the frustration within the people, but, you know, to destroy Capitol Hill is just like, I mean, I don't know. That to me takes it to a whole nother level.
All I can think about is that video it's actually not a video, it's a song, and it was like, it's all the world needs right now is love, sweet love, because I just think that we are in such array that, like, I just think 2021 told 2020 to hold its beer.
Yeah,
it was
for
like,
real.
oh, you thought shit was fucked up in 2020?
Yeah,
Take a seat.
They gave us a 7-day trial to 2021. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. I want my money back. And I can only imagine like what other countries are thinking about us right now. Like Canada. You know, I mean, they're just like, we have a clip here of what the Canadians been saying less about us lately. You know, so, you know, from Canada, looking at America,
they're probably like, fuck is going on over there?
What the fuck are they doing over there? So
I'm gonna just keep drinking because I just need to keep my soul at ease.
Yeah.
Cause you know me, I get fired up. I was like, let Evo introduce this because Gina get pretty pissed off. And I get pissed off real quick.
And Edgar says that Trump Pelicans gone wild.
Yeah, I love. He actually has said that once before, and I was reading it all.
Trumpikins.
Oh, Trumpikins. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like.
Yeah, so it's basically Republicans with Trump mushed together. Oh, and then Stephanie says we appear weak around the world.
Listen, and we're supposed to be like the superpower.
Yeah.
You know, and we're falling apart.
Yeah, we're falling apart. We definitely are, because our country right now is such at odds that I think that's why we feel like it's so saddening to see what has been happening over the past year and now into 2021. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, I just wanted to just address it and say how disgraceful I am, and to say that
disgraceful you are. You mean how disgraced you You just said
disgraceful.
You just said how disgraceful I am.
Like I was there. I was there. I was the guy, you know, all in black. No, I definitely wasn't there. How disgraced I am.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for correcting me on that. How disgraced I am, and how we need to do better, man. We need to do better. I mean, granted, all there's a bunch of other countries going through their own stuff.
Yeah. Agreed.
But you know, this is America.
Yes, this is America. But let's move on from that. We obviously just wanted to address it because, I mean, it was the biggest thing that happened this week. And let's just hope that now that we're moving into a new presidency, that, you know, our country will start to see some resolve. But moving on, because that is what we do. And we started Shit Talk Fridays to talk shit and have fun.
That's it.
And not be saddened by what's going on in the world.
That's
it. Even though it is the obvious, but we want to, you know, we still want to put a smile on people's faces.
Let's just move to Westchester. Everything will be all right.
No, I am not moving to Westchester. But so last week, we talked a little bit about trending topics, and I started to talk about Wonder Woman 84. And then I posted some video clips of the discussion that we had on the live last week about Wonder Woman 84. And I just want to say that it caught a flame on TikTok. So currently on TikTok, we have a video that has reached over 100,000 views. And I can't even tell you how many people... Just go up one, Mateo. So where it says 100K views. Yeah. So I titled the video, "This is how you lose." You know, trying to be kind of clicky baity so that people would understand. And, you know, I post these videos on TikTok and I don't think anything of it. I'm just, you know, sharing snippets of the conversation that we had last Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, I made DC fans all over the world pissed off.
Yo, they came out the woodwork.
People were so mad. We had about almost 700 comments, like this one here, where this gentleman tells me to shut up.
Troll City.
He's like, girl, do me a favor and shut up. It honestly was the most surprising thing that has happened to me, because I have never been so submerged in the fandom of DC versus Marvel. And I think what made it even worse with these comments was that I made a comparison of DC versus Marvel.
Right.
Doing that made people so angry.
You know, I feel like you like compared, like, you know, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. You know what I mean? Like it kind of felt like that. You know, where like you can't compare the two. They're two totally separate. Like you try to say one is like the other, and they're gonna come for you. And they came for you.
They came for me hard. This dude said that my makeup looked fucked up.
He was like, "That's why you ugly."
What is the name of this Transformer? It's Optimus Prime rival.
Oh, Megatron.
Megatron. Sorry, it didn't come to me. Yeah, this Megatron mother effer right here told me about that my makeup is fucked up. I was like, oh my god, they coming for my makeup. But I will say this. I'm really proud of us.
Yes, I am too.
We have become exposed to 100,000 plus more people on TikTok. They have had the privilege of seeing Evo and I. And if you would like, we actually have, you could follow us on TikTok. Oh yeah, this was one of my other favorite comments. Yeah. Women just complain. And a lot of people were saying things like, can you do better? Can she do better? I was like, do these motherfuckers not know me?
Listen, I
will go to school, learn how to do CGI, and blow this shit out the water.
Listen, don't you know when all else fails, just blame it on the sex.
Yo.
You know?
It honestly was so crazy to me. But if you scroll back down, Mateo.
Go back.
Yeah, go back down. You see where it says TikTok QR code?
Yeah. That one.
Yeah. So this is, if you'd like, you could follow us on TikTok. It is you can find us at ST Fridays, and you'll see all of our little snippets there. I also share them on Instagram. Evo shares some of them on Facebook. Mm-hmm. But if you would like to be thoroughly entertained and read some of the 700 comments.
If you're the type of person who likes to read
comments. If you want to see what it's like to be in Troll City, because Gina got trolled. Okay, they were like, choo, choo. Let's go in on this bitch. We gonna take her. Yeah. I had friends DMing me being like, girl, what did you do? You entered the world of DC. They gonna come for you.
They brought heat.
Fire.
They brought heat.
But let me tell you, thank you for the views and thank you for the engagement.
Cheers to you.
Okay, because of those people, my video continues, or our video rather, continues to increase in views. Right now it's like 110,000 at this point. Yes. Which I thought was really funny. But those are the two things that we just wanted to talk about before we actually get into tonight's topic. And because TV, I feel like this week was so prevalent, a lot of people were plastered to their TV because of what was going on in America this past week. It made me think about some of the best TV that you see or have seen over our lifetime. So yes. We want to talk a little bit about some of the best TV that you have seen. But before we get into that, let me read some comments. So Muncie says, why didn't anyone get shot, arrested? You know, it was a brown cat. You know, if it was a brown cat, yeah, 100%, Muncie. Like if it was a Latino, a black, or an Arab, it'd have been on site. Okay, on site it would have been of. And then Stephanie says, let's rebuild our mental health with some laughs. Totally agree. I actually think that's a perfect statement, Stephanie. And then Edgar says, DC fans are jealous because Marvel makes blockbusters and DC is regulated to the CW. Well, I will tell you this, Edgar. They're going to be real mad at me tonight because I'm coming for their throats this evening.
Round 2.
Round 2. Fight. Okay? Because the fact that so many people were like, does she even know what CGI means? I was like, oh, they don't know me?
You don't know?
I'm coming for their throats.
She about to hit him with the Puerto Rican judo.
I'm about to break out the platanos. But yeah, so let's talk about some of the best rated TV shows. And Evo's actually going to start us off with one of the first ones that, like, the minute that I thought about some of the best TV that I have ever seen, this was one of the first shows that immediately popped into my brain.
Yeah, so this show actually is rated 9.5 on IMDb, and it has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Literally the #1 ranked TV show of all times on IMDb. And that show is Breaking Bad.
Walter White!
Man, listen. I'll be honest with you. The first time you put me onto this show.
Yes, I did.
And like many other shows that you put me onto, at first I wasn't impressed. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I got into it. This cover perfectly describes
Yeah.
the man. I mean, I wasn't okay. So let's rewind. I wasn't really impressed because I just, I've had my fair share of of being out in the streets, and from what I saw on the show, there was just something missing. Um, but then I gave it a shot. I watched it from the beginning, and it's the story of Walter White. He's this teacher that drifts into Mexico City or Mexico, thinking everything's gonna be sweet, and starting off living a good life, and then he finds out that he's diagnosed with stage 3 cancer,
lung cancer at that,
and his life just falls apart. And the only thing that he can do to survive, I mean, he's buried in medical bills, can't afford to anything.
Because he's like your run of the mill teacher.
Yeah, he's just run of the mill teacher. Went out there, I guess, for cheaper living, I would assume.
Where he lives in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And
I'm gonna keep the thing up while you talk about it.
No, it's fine. And eventually just gets buried in medical bills and just up to his neck. He doesn't know what to do. And then sees some kid get arrested for drugs, and all of a sudden light bulb clicks in his head, and then he takes he's a science teacher, and he takes his chemistry, and all of a sudden decides to start cooking meth, and that's when the show takes a turn.
Remind me of the character's name.
Which character?
Not Walter White, the guy who he gets wrapped up with.
Oh,
Really?
We got to look that up. I didn't note that.
Okay.
But the best part about the show is that it began and it ended with just a gripping story.
Let me tell you something. I vividly remember the ending of Breaking Bad. Like, yeah. I remember being like, holy fuck. It was one of those, I want to say it was probably one of the only shows that I've ever watched that I felt fully satisfied at the end of the show.
Yeah. I mean, as the seasons progressed, I mean, it was just hooking me in, and it's setting the hook in deeper and deeper and deeper every season. And so the first season was Jesse, that's the guy's name.
Max said Jesse like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, did he? Oh. Thanks, Max.
Oh, thanks, Max.
Welcome to the stream.
Appreciate that.
And then Edgar says, Breaking Bad, what happens when teachers are underpaid?
That's right. That's right. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few chemistry teachers out there right now doing their Breaking Bad. Because, I mean...
now that I think about it, I think about the show Breaking Bad. And a lot of the times in the show, I was like, where the hell did this white, middle-aged guy get the balls to do what he was doing? And then I just realized he was dying. So to him, he was probably like, what do I got to lose?
Yeah, nothing.
I'm gonna just fucking die tomorrow anyway. So this gangster or this head of this drug cartel, why does that really? I'm not in fear, because if he kills me, I was gonna die anyway.
Well, so it started off where he just figured he could do it to make money.
Yeah.
Turns out, because of his
skill set,
his skill set and his chemistry background, and his him not having the cartel mentality of cutting and stretching, his stuff was so pure that it was blowing everybody else's product out the water.
Tuco, remember the first time Tuco took a shot at that? He was like, wow.
Tuco was gone.
He was like,
so
that shit was so funny.
And then I love the way that they implemented the comedy and all that, and all those interesting characters.
Yes, agreed.
It really gave a good spin to the story, and the first season was received with positive reviews, and the rest just ended up being critically acclaimed.
Listen, I don't even remember how I stumbled upon Breaking Bad, but I remember after watching one of the scenes remind me of this character's name. That now, every time I see him in a show, who he currently is Moff Gideon in Mandalorian. So Juan Carlos.
His name is Gus.
In the show. But the actor Juan Carlos Esposito is his name.
Yes.
I remember watching Breaking Bad and seeing a scene between him and Walter White, and then just being like, Evo needs to watch this show because this shit is off the wall. And like, I stopped watching it so that you could watch it and catch up, and then we could watch it together.
Definitely was.
That's love right there, ladies and gentlemen.
It definitely is love, and I definitely underrated that show at the beginning.
What?
Yeah.
That show was insane.
And
insane. Thus the 9.5 on IMDb.
Yeah.
That is 100% a rating that it fully deserves.
Yeah, so good that the lawyer Saul,
got a spinoff.
He even got a spinoff, and
which is like it was the prequel.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So Eddie says, yeah. Am I pronouncing it? I keep saying Juan Carlo Esposito, but I think it's Giancarlo Esposito. He's the main villain in the new coming Farsi game. Oh, is he really? I didn't know that. Far Cry. Oh, that's what it says. I can't see it. He's always a villain because he is.
Open the chat up a little bit more.
He is no, it's fine. He is he's the villain in Breaking Bad. He's the villain. He's one of the villains in The Boys.
Yep.
Right. He not the type of villain you would think he is in Boys, but he's not to be fucked with in Boys. He is the villain in this new Far Cry game. He's the villain in The Mandalorian.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, when in the first season when I saw him in The Mandalorian, I was like, this dude really? And then I was just like, oh, he's fucking crazy. I really like him. Fun fact, he was in Do the Right Thing, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He's a pretty well, I guess.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. That's the best wording I could do. But yeah, he was in Do the Right Thing.
He's definitely a seasoned actor.
He looks a hell of a lot. I mean, he was a lot younger. This is in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, he's a villain in 4 fucking things.
Well, I enjoy him as a villain. He does a great job.
Yeah.
The show did phenomenal. It ended up getting 16 Emmy Awards, two Golden Globes Awards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 2 Peabody Awards, which I'm not sure about. 2 Critics' Choice Awards, and they got the award for the Television Critics Association's Award. So they did pretty well.
Yeah.
They did pretty well.
So let me read some comments. So, Vanessa says, "Oh my God, from Los Pollos, Hermanos, and Gus." Yes. Yeah, he owned the chicken spot.
Yeah, so that actually was a real spot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was a real spot. The car wash is a real spot.
Have an A1 day?
Have an A1 day. And the house, is it Real House in New Mexico? Yeah, they just rented the house out. And also the Starling Hotel is an actual hotel. So these are all
like real locations.
Real locations that they filmed at in New Mexico, which I thought was pretty cool.
So you know what? Let's take a road trip. I would love to go see some of these places, right? I think that would be fucking cool though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be as cool as they make it seem. But I bet you we would drive by and it would just seem like a regular building.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
They put that movie magic on it,
Yeah, because I remember the first time that I saw something through a monitor, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But when you look at it, when you move from the monitor, it doesn't look that amazing. And then Sterling Silva. Oh, sorry. Changed my name from Mark.
Oh,
hey Mark, welcome to the stream. Sterling Silva.
Mark's in incognito mode.
Mark, let us know how you're doing because I know that the UK is in pretty intense lockdown right now.
Yes, they are.
And then Eddie says he was bugging out and Do the Right Thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was tweaking.
We may have to rewatch that.
Yeah, I actually would love to rewatch Do the Right Thing because it has a premise that holds very true to what's happening in our country right now, which I think is fucking pretty ironic. But I mean, to say the least. But yeah, I loved Breaking Bad. I honestly think that. What I also think that is going to be really amazing about that show, it's really going to age well. I think the show's already more than 10 years old.
Right.
I think in another 10 to 20 years, you're going to be able to watch Breaking Bad and still be visually a good show to watch.
Well, the one of the most mind-blowing things about it was that by the 5th season, which was the last season, they had 10 million viewers per episode.
That's insane.
That's insane. Which now you can understand why they rank so high on IMDb.
I wonder how many people thought that they could cook meth after that show.
Oh man, you remember? I felt like there was Breaking Bad going on in the city. Remember I sent you the picture?
Oh yeah, because there was blue tubs being like people were just showing up with trucks.
God, in the whole Breaking Bad, whatever you want to call it, when it was on air. All of a sudden, I'm at work and I'm standing outside and I see these two people walking. Well, they got one of them's carrying those blue 50-gallon drums on his shoulder, and another one's got one in a shopping cart. And they're the same drums that they got in Breaking Bad. I swear to God, somebody got acid dipped. Had to be. Because like that was the first and last time I've ever seen anything like that.
Well, I think at one point we thought our old neighbors were fucking cooking meth next door.
They were doing something.
And tonight we have Mateo back with us. We had Anthony help us out last week, but Mateo's back. And that was Mateo's suspicion the entire time that they lived next door to us. He was like, they never put up their shades. They're over there cooking meth.
And then there was that one girl that she looked like she was like 15 or some shit. And I saw her going into the car. I'm like, yo, she's about to drive the car. And you're like, no, she's probably just starting it for her parents. And then she's like, and she starts going.
Just drove. She was like 12 years old.
Yeah, it looked like it.
And then Vanessa says, wait, let me read this. So Sterling Civic says, haha, yeah, changed my name. Long story, crazy exes. We're back on lockdown over here. But more importantly, have you tried Country Crisp yet? Yo, Mark don't let up. And then Vanessa says, Bryan Cranston is in another good show right now called Your Honor. Okay, I didn't know that. Maybe we'll check that out. And Breaking Bad Death Goes Down as a classic. Similar to The Wire, never ages, always a good watch. So
I know him from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, Evo and I actually tried to watch The Wire.
Yep, we sure did.
We watched 2 episodes.
Wasn't feeling it.
We could not get into it. I don't know what it was about The Wire, but I think you and I were saying that because we have had our toes dipped into the streets, that it just felt unauthentic.
I mean, listen, I'm just gonna keep it real. I've been locked up a few times, and it felt Hollywood to me. You know, I'm watching these guys in prison. I've never been to prison. I'm not gonna
stop lying.
No, I've never been upstate. I've never done like long serious time, but I've definitely been in a few counties, and I don't know. It just seemed too fluffy for me, too Hollywood. It was just too much of that going on in it, and I didn't take to it. But many people did. Respectfully, the show did very well, and apparently, I missed out on something.
I don't know. Maybe we'll try again. I don't know because if so many people have told us about this, but I mean, I just don't have an interest. So, Sterling Silver says, Mateo, how you doing, mate? We love the Mateo. What season of The Wire and Breaking? I wrote that Breaking Bad. I just wanted to make sure that it was coming up on Facebook.
Yeah.
So we just watched the first season. We just watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Now, if someone is gonna tell us that we need to watch it for a couple episodes, I will understand that. And the reason for that is, are you done with Breaking Bad?
Yes.
And Mark, I'm doing alright, by the way. Yeah, thank you for asking. How about you?
And Max says, I never vibe with it either, but Sopranos I did. Sopranos was a great show.
That's a Jersey classic.
But if we're gonna talk about a show that took a little bit for you to get acclimated to it, is the next show that we have up on the agenda for you, and it's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has a 9.2 rating on IMDb. It ran from 2011 to 2019. They have currently, or up to date, 59 Emmys. 59 Emmys, and including 3 for Best Drama. And per episode, Game of Thrones was getting 30 million viewers per episode.
That's crazy.
30 million. That's like 10% of the population on Sunday nights was tuning into Game of Thrones.
That's HBO for you.
And I'm just going to say this. You and I were avid Game of Thrones watchers to the point where I would, light a doobie and be submersed into this shit like nobody's business because I needed to hear no evil, speak no evil. Yeah. When we were watching that, don't talk to me, don't say nothing to me.
No.
I was totally invested in that show from day one because it gave you everything that made it a great show. So David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, who are the writers for the show, they did an amazing job of the adaptation of the Ice and Fire from George R.R. Martin. So I don't think it's the easiest thing to take something from a fantasy world, right? Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, and then putting it on TV. Because if you think about it, and this is something that I heard on an interview with Joe Rogan and an actor, his name, it leaves me right now, but they were talking about how, once upon a time, actors were like, I don't do TV. Mm-hmm. I'm an actor. Mm-hmm. Like TV was kind of frowned upon. Mm-hmm. So when a show like Game of Thrones came around, people were gnawing at the bit to be on a show like that because it had budgets and it had episodes that were having bigger productions than a whole movie. So just an episode.
So do you think that that's what it was? So that was really what made movie actors frown on TV was because of the budgets. Because the budgets are so much bigger on movies.
I mean, I'm not sure. I just feel like, that could definitely be it.
It sounds like it because when you're saying Game of Thrones basically had movie budget.
Yes.
And then some.
But not in the beginning. Every year the budget got bigger and bigger.
Of course, bigger because people, the viewers grew and they saw that obviously you put more into the investment, but now that I think about it, if you think about TV shows mm-hmm. and you compare them to movies, the productions are totally they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
But I think actors are very willing to be on TV shows because you think about all the like Breaking Bad, The Wire, Game of Thrones. Yeah. Think about all these amazing TV shows that actors are getting. Jon Snow, aka Kit Harington. He's never going to be known as anything other than fucking Jon Snow. He will forever be Jon Snow. Yeah. So I think actors will never look at TV like that.
Night's Watch.
Okay, that's my dude. Wait, let me read some comments. So, so Eddie says Game of Thrones all day. How could we forget about it? And then Mark says, have you seen Person of Interest? Really love that series. We have not. And then Edgar says, yes, Game of Thrones was a classic. Max says, man, I wish it ended better. I love the show. I hate how the last season went. I would agree with you.
No, but he said the last few seasons.
Oh, yeah, but then he said season, so I wasn't sure.
Oh.
And then Vanessa says, Game of Thrones, which house are you down with? I am House Targaryen. Like, look, I'm burning everybody with dragons.
Is there any other?
Like, come really, on. Like, what other house would you want to be in? I want dragons. I want to ride dragons.
The House Targaryen is like the United States military. It's just, there's no other force like it.
I want to be introduced with 17 names.
Yeah.
I want to go somewhere and I want them to be like, this is Gina of House Targaryen, Mother of Dragons, Destroyer of Change, Breaker of Cities,
been dope
Freeing of Flames.
It's been dope if one episode they would have had the guy from Let's Get Ready to Rumble come and introduce her. Can you imagine that?
He'd be like, in this corner, we have
Mother of Dragons.
Yo, and then she come and she'd be like, Dracarys. And then so Stephanie says True Blood was like that for me. We used to love True Blood.
Yeah, man.
But it was one of those shows that we're actually going to talk about later. It took a fucking dive for us. It got to the point where we couldn't even watch it anymore.
Yeah, I know, man.
When they went into that whole Lilith shit, I was like, I'm done. I can't watch this shit anymore.
It got crazy.
And then Mark says, I can't believe she would light a Scooby-Dooby and watch it. Yo, listen, I don't play around. If I want to watch a show, a bitch is getting lit.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it's that. Because listen, could you imagine smoking a doobie? And then it's watching dragons fly?
You sound like a fuddy-duddy right
now. A fuddy-duddy? Listen, my uncle, God rest his soul.
That's where you get that from.
Yes, I do. I get it from him. He would always be like, you out there smoking them doobies? I'm always going to call it a doobie because of him. And then Mr. Jones says, more money in the TV series. Personality, Max says, personally opinion, it's an ego thing. Edgar says the episode when Arya Stark killed the Ice King should have been the last episode. Bro, let me tell you something. Arya Stark
that was classic. We just watched that again,
I'm just going to say, look, yo, all the hairs on my body just stood up.
We literally just watched that scene the other day.
I just want to say something to you.
What?
Valhalla Magulas.
Valhalla Magulas.
Okay? I am the girl with
No face.
no name.
No name.
The girl that has no name. Arya Stark, when she killed the fucking Night King, okay, and she dropped that sword and she jigged him, I was like, she's the real MVP of this entire series. I love Daenerys, I love Jon, but I'm sorry, Arya's she will be my forever day one bitch.
She literally killed it.
And then Mark says, I always thought the movie Man on Fire would have a great series. I've never seen this. And then Stephanie says, you all making me want to watch this series. Wait a second, Stephanie, have you not seen Game of Thrones?
Whoa. You know what? Hold up. We can't shame her because I actually know.
I'm not shaming her. I'm just kind of shocked.
There's a few people that I know that haven't watched it.
Listen, I work in TV and film. I can't tell you how many times I've been on set and they were like, I have not watched Game of Thrones. And I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to edge your stage left now.
Yeah, the woe is like, you're missing out. Like, you need to, and it's 10 seasons. It's a lot to catch up on, but it's like watching The Office.
Yes.
So like, and you did it.
Yes, I did 9 seasons, but The Office
can be done.
Yes, it can be done. You could probably watch a season a day if you really want to get crackheadish.
Yeah. So wait. So what was it? Episode 2, Game of Thrones. You're hooked, right?
Oh, yeah. No, to me, by the ending of episode 1, it's a wrap.
Stephanie, ending of episode 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Give it one episode. I guarantee you're gonna binge watch it.
Okay. So, just a few more tidbits about Game of Thrones, and then we'll move on. I mean, because obviously we all can agree that it's an epic show. But Game of Thrones, what they did successfully is that they told human stories in a fantasy world. So, you got so wrapped up in the character development that there was always something for you to enjoy in Game of Thrones. The violence, a.k.a. the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, God.
Listen. I still have PTSD from the Red Wedding. I don't know about you. I saw a clip from the Red Wedding today and I got shivers down my spine. Fun fact, Catelyn Stark, who is the mother of the Stark house, she plays a role in Harry Potter. She is Hermione's mother. And I bet you a lot of people didn't know that because there's honestly just like a quick scene where you see Hermione's parents. But yeah, Catelyn Stark, the actress, she plays Hermione's mother in Harry Potter. Not that she's memorable in it because then she goes on to be Catelyn Stark, which is what I think she will always go down in history for. But in addition to violence, you got a lot of sex. You got man-on-man sex, you got woman-on-woman sex, you got man-on-woman, you got a couple women, couple men.
You got amputee sex.
What is it?
Amputee.
Oh, amputee, you got not midget, excuse me, you got small person sex.
Yeah.
Please don't come get me for that, I apologize. You got all type of sex in that show. You got...
Like, they were true to the times.
You got sex with humans and witches.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lots of drama in the show. You got horror. There were moments where I was legit scared. Like there were episodes that I was just like, what the fuck is gonna happen? Come on, think about it. Remember when they left that baby in the woods? And then that was the first time that you saw the Night King come and turn him to bitch. A bitch was scared. Okay? And then there was romance. Come on, Grey Worm.
They had it all.
Grey Worm and this girl, when they fell in love, even though he didn't have no pee-pee, she still loved him.
And that, you know what? The fact that they made that...
Oh my God, I love that storyline.
Was so dope. Like, that was so well played that they highlighted their romance and they made them fall in love even though they could not be physically intimate. Well, at least like...
They couldn't have penetration, but they could still be physically intimate.
They couldn't have, like, sex. But they could do other things, but they still fell in love with each other. You know,
it was beautiful. But let me tell you something. Spoiler alert. Something happens to her, and Grey Worm, he had no mercy.
That's it.
And I was down with that. That's why I said I'm House Targaryen.
Grey Worm was like, we have just lost cabin.
I remember when people were like, oh my God, she like burned people in the village. I was like, and? I'm sorry. Where did you expect me to care about that? I said this. We were watching Past Lives, and I said it. I said, Daenerys Targaryen burned women, children, and men, and I don't give a fuck. Okay?
And I fuck it.
So, let's keep going.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, in Game of Thrones, you also got comedy. Probably one of my favorite aspects of the show, I mean, amongst the other 5 that I just listed, the Hound. When he would walk around calling everybody a dumb little cunt. He would like, shut up, you little dumb little cunt. I just saved your life. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker.
The best part about that was that he was such a fucking badass.
Oh my god, I loved him.
And so intimidating.
Yes.
That he just threw the word cunt around like you're not gonna do shit about it. He'll call anybody a fucking cunt. You fucking cunt.
Yeah.
And you just like you would literally
dumb little cunt.
Yeah, if he called you a cunt, you would shit in your pants. Like that's you would literally turn into a cunt.
I loved the Hound so much.
He was good.
You remember the part where he like knocks Arya out so that he could just take her? He's like, you're not going back in there.
The
fucking knocks her the fuck out.
But the best part about it is, as fucking hard as he was, he grew a soft spot for
Arya.
Arya.
He loved Arya.
You know, and again, well played.
Yes.
So well played. That the way that they put this show together, man, it's just I haven't seen anything like it since.
Yes. And then last but not least, the fantasy aspect. Come on, we had direwolves.
Yeah.
We had White Walkers.
Yeah.
We had witches. We had giants.
Dragons.
And we had fucking fire-breathing dragons. Okay?
Fucker, fucking fire.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Say that 5 times fast. Fucking fire-breathing dragons.
No, you said fucker?
Yeah, fuckers.
You said fucker? No.
Fucker, fire-breathing dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucker, fire.
Oh, yeah, you said
dragon.
fucker, fucking fire-breathing dragon.
And listen, we're gonna get a prequel.
Yo,
we're getting a prequel.
Then,
we're getting a prequel to Game of Thrones, House
also,
of Dragons.
You had also Daenerys, mother of dragons, that was fireproof.
Yeah, well, because she was mother of dragons.
She was mother.
She had to be.
I'm just, the fact that when they made her rise from the flames.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro.
When she came out that house.
She came out that house like naked and she killed all of those dudes. Oh man.
She was like, do I know what CGI is? Burn you. So let me read some comments because I get so fired up about shit.
I'm with you on that.
I get so fired up. Listen,
I love Game of Thrones.
How many times did we watch that show and I turned to you and I go, I want a dragon. You gonna buy me a dragon, Evo?
I'm working on it.
Okay. Are you gonna be my Jon Snow?
What's the girl from Willy Wonka, the one that's like, I want a golden goose now.
Oh, Veronica.
Veruca.
Oh yes, Veruca.
Veruca. That's how I felt like when you were like, oh, Daddy, Eva, I want a dragon.
Right.
Like, okay,
I want the golden goose now,
like,
Daddy.
Oh, Veruca, Daddy's gonna get you a dragon. Don't worry, baby.
I want a dragon. I kind of got a dragon. His name is Kylo.
Yeah,
He's a mother trucker.
That's a mother trucker.
Okay, so...
Wait, that's your first time saying that.
Oh,
yeah,
so Stephanie says that she hasn't seen it. She says that she lives under a rock. Well, Stephanie,
they have Game of Thrones on the rocks.
I feel so privileged because the fact that she watches us and hasn't watched Game of Thrones, I feel honored.
Thank you very much.
And Max says, for all of its failings in the last season, it's extremely worth watching. 100% agree. Because you think about it, we got like 10 years of TV from Game of Thrones. And Mark says, I may have to give it another shot because I love Lord of the Rings and it seems like a series version of it. It's 10 times better than Lord of the Rings.
It's Lord of the Rings on steroids, Mark.
Like multiple shots of steroids.
Yeah.
And then Mark says, Hermione, Emma Watson. Oh my God, I forgot that he loves her.
Mark.
And then, she's a young lady. And Melissa says, Caitlin Stark was also on the show Ray Donovan. Oh, I didn't know that. And then Mark says, spoiler alert. And then Max says, best horror cliffhanger of the series is Sam hiding with the White Walkers walk around him in season 2. Oh my God, I remember that, I think. Remember when he hid from the White Walkers? Sam.
Yeah.
Sam Tully.
Mm-hmm.
Another MVP of that show.
Yo, for real.
Yo, because he told John.
Yo.
He was like, you Targaryen?
Yo, and for a man who like really had
sorry, I'm like fucking spilling the beans.
Listen, for somebody who wasn't a fighter, he sure as hell delivered a hell of a blow.
Huh?
I said for a man that wasn't a fighter,
I know.
He sure as hell delivered a hell of a blow.
I loved him. Honestly, I don't think there wasn't anybody that I didn't love in the show except for that bitch from Westeros.
No, and fucking what's his name? The prince, the fucking
Jamie?
little fucker. No, the young,
oh yeah, fuck him,
yeah,
bro.
the fucking little boy. He was a fucking. I hated him.
Yeah, well, he got his.
I don't even remember his name.
Exactly. That does it matter?
Yeah.
And then Edgar says the wildling. Remember the wildlings?
Yes.
Listen,
I love the wildlings.
They're honestly, we can go on and on about the things that we loved of Game of Thrones. Obviously, the first two things that we talked about, we thoroughly love them. So let's move on to the next show that we have in line for you. And it's something that I love. And I hope that you, ladies and gentlemen out there, also love this show with me. It's it's a lot different from Breaking Bad. It's a lot different from Game of Thrones. Yeah. It's The Office, man. Come on, Michael Scott, Dwight Schrute.
You know, this
Jim Halpert.
This is a show. This is another one that I was another one. I just wasn't didn't take to it.
Okay, so The Office. Let's do its stats. The Office has an 8.9 on IMDb. It ran from 2005 to 2013. I'm going to say this. The show came out at this point it wrapped up almost 8 years ago at this point, right? I didn't start watching this show until just last year. Obviously, pandemic, had a little bit more time on my hands. But I can't tell you how many times over the past previous years that I had just turned it on, but then not watch it. And it was because I realized that it was so many seasons and then I wasn't going to have the time to watch it. So I would fall asleep so many times watching it. And then I finally got past the first season and I was like, I think...
There's people that are in the chat that don't want you spoiling it.
Yeah, what? We're done. We moved on.
No. So, and then Melissa says she's still working on it. So Stephanie says stop. Yeah, we're not even going to talk anymore about that. The Office, honestly, for me, after the first season, I was in love. There was no turning back. I was going to watch it to the end. And thank God that I had friends, Gina, my friend Amanda, who I was able to text feverishly when something would happen in the show, that because the show was so old that I needed to talk to people when things would happen in the show, because I would be like, oh my God, I'm on season 4.
Especially since I wasn't watching
it. You would come and watch it with me here and there. The Office for me was it was my guilty pleasure. And it was also the show that I would go and unplug to. Yeah. Like, I would come downstairs to my little toy room and I would turn it on and I would sit down here and I would just watch a couple episodes, not a couple, more than a couple, several episodes. Yeah. And I would just be down here by myself giggling my fucking ass off. And I think for me and many other people from, some of the reading that I've done is that what the show does for you, it gives you such great character development. Yeah. Over the years that the show was on the air, you got to really know each character in a way where it's continued to keep you invested, and you start to fall in love with their individual storylines, and then you fall in love with how their storylines come together in The Office.
Yes, that was, you know what? So eventually, I started watching it with you.
Yes,
and that was the part that I liked about it the most. I really liked that as they went through the seasons, they focused on different characters. Yeah. In the crew, and you really got to know them personally and all their stories, and then eventually how they all tied it together. Yeah. Which now I finally understood why The Office was such a great show. I mean, aside from the comedy that was in it, which was just like no other.
Yes. Well, okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. So one of the reasons why The Office was so successful is because previous to The Office, a lot of the shows that were on TV were super scripted. Even deeper, a lot of the shows had what is called the laugh thing in the background. So
the laugh tracks?
The laugh tracks, yeah. And a lot of these shows, people would watch them and they were starting to become uninvested in these shows because they just felt like the shows were so scripted that it made people almost kind of be like, this is kind of boring. It doesn't feel like I'm excited to see what's coming, right, because it's you can almost anticipate it. So then The Office came and it did something that no other show had done, which is it took this comedy aspect and kind of wrapped it into this documentary style of filming. Mm-hmm. Like the zooming in that they would do, especially on Jim when he would be like, So they took that documentary feel because, at this point in 2005, we had seen a good amount of, what is it called? Reality TV.
Yeah.
And then you had a lot of these scripted TV shows, and it basically took those two and merged them together. So people felt like they were watching a reality show that was scripted, but it didn't seem like sometimes it was scripted because the show was about an office that was having a documentary film about them.
Right. So they had these little pieces of what seemed to be like side talk.
Yes.
You know, where like a person is like talking who they are really.
Yes.
And like so you got like a part of the character that was like the real part of the character.
Yes.
Versus who they were when they were being filmed.
And you almost felt like you were actually watching a documentary. You
Yeah.
felt like, you know, when Dwight would go off and have his little idiosyncrasies, he was like, do you want to form an alliance with me? He's like, yes, I do. And you actually feel like, this guy is, like, what is going on here?
You know what? It honestly made me feel like that would be a place that I would have loved to work
Oh my God. I would have loved to work there so much. I would have walked in every day. I would have been like, what's on the bullshit today?
I think that that's what really catapulted the show was the ability to do what everybody wished they could do at work. What everybody wished they were doing at work.
Do you know that is actually one of the quotes that I read about the show?
Yeah.
That it was a show that displayed what people really wished that they could do at their place of work.
Just dick off and do fucked up shit at work, but that was funny and like sarcastic at the same time and a little bit sadistic, you know, and they did a great job putting that together. And like one of the top the top lines of the show is when they did the fucking parkour.
Yeah. Okay. So Melissa says that she's still working on The Office. And then Stephanie says I fall asleep to this show. And then Mark says I still haven't watched American Office. The original UK Office with Ricky Gervais was so funny and cringeworthy, but I need to watch the American version. So Ricky Gervais is one of the, he's Gervais. I'm sorry, I'm saying his Gervais or Gervais. What it is, Gervais. He's actually one of the producers. There's a scene in the American version where Michael Scott meets him in the elevator, and they basically fall in love with each other in like 5 minutes. So
I didn't even know there was a European version.
UK version.
UK.
Yes.
Excuse me. Sorry.
So now I actually think I want to watch the UK version.
Let's do it.
Because I really like Ricky. So, and then Stephanie says, I was so sad when Netflix let it go. So it's on Peacock right now. You can watch it for free on Peacock, but there are commercials on Peacock I don't know how much that bothers you. And then Gina says, Evil, the first few episodes I hated, Michael and the show, and then you love him and the whole show. That is the damn truth.
Is it? In
addition to, you will hate so many other characters, and then at the end of the show, you're like, I love them all.
Yo, Dwight is my guy, though.
Listen, you know how I feel about Dwight. Yo. He was the first. I have a pop of Dwight, and I needed him. I needed him in his original ugly green ass suit.
I just wish I was Dwight as a kid. Like that's who I wanted to be as a child.
He was like false.
Yeah,
that is not accurate. And then Edgar says, nice, the episode when the fire alarms went off to practice a fire drill was classic. He was like, everybody, calm down, it's happening. They use that clip so much in TikTok. I love it. And then Max says, hardcore parkour.
Yeah,
come on.
That was my favorite scene.
Parkour was my shit.
The funny part about that was that I saw parkour on TikTok when people were doing TikToks to the parkour audio.
And you hadn't seen that episode.
And I hadn't seen the episode.
Yeah.
And then you actually showed me the episode, and I finally found out what it was about. And I actually enjoyed the episode more than
oh my God, it was...
Yeah, that was great.
Listen.
They made a whole episode about parkour. This is great.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I mean, I have a lot of favorite episodes from The Office, but that's definitely one of my favorites because of a couple of things that happened in that episode. And then Stephanie says that she's in love with Jim. I mean, who wouldn't be? Jim is just that dude that you love him straight from the beginning because he's the nice guy, but then at the same time, he's got this he's got like this saucy side about him that you're like, you know, he does stuff. And I also love how like, he sticks up for himself a lot in the show. And then, so Mark says the UK Office for me was kind of Saturday early morning in bed watching kind of TV. And then, you guys, your trainers sneakers are looking sharp. Oh, thank you so much. I love that you guys say trainers out there. I love that. I actually got these for Christmas from my lovely husband. And then Stephanie says, I watched The Office with my son. It was a great time spent together. Agreed. That is one thing I would say about The Office is that it's definitely a show that you could watch as a family and everybody can enjoy it. And then Melissa saying hi to Max and then she's continuing to talk to him. So, I mean, just to wrap up The Office, the show just has these characters that, like we were saying, you're gonna fall in love with him. You're gonna fall in love with them. You got Michael Scott, you got Dwight Schrute, you got Jim Halpert, you got Pam Halpert. You just got these people. You get so invested in their stories and where they're going that like you have to finish the show. Yeah. And I know that it got an 8.9 on IMDb, but if it was up to me, I would have gave it a 9 out of 10.
Agreed.
So that moves us to our next show that we're gonna talk about. And Evil's gonna take us away on that.
Yes. So this next show that we want to talk about, it actually rates a 8.8 on IMDb.
Yes, it does.
And the show that we're talking about is the Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show. Chappelle Show. Chappelle Show. Yeah, whatever.
Is it 5 o'clock? Is it 5 o'clock free crack giveaway?
So the Chappelle Show premiered on January 22nd, 2003. Mm-hmm. And it ran for 2 seasons, sadly.
You know, I don't want to say sadly because I think Dave Chappelle definitely he made the right choice.
I feel like he had more in him. He just made.
Oh yes.
He made. Yeah, that's why I said sadly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it abruptly came to an end.
Yeah.
Just because of, politics. Really, what was going on behind the scenes.
Agreed.
And it actually had a 3rd season, which was the Lost Episodes. Mm-hmm. I think the third season had like 3 episodes, and then it went into like the Lost Episodes, which really wasn't it really wasn't what embodied the show.
Because I would assume that those episodes were the ones that potentially weren't supposed to be aired, really.
Yeah, no, they weren't, and I mean, so like as we know, the Chappelle Show, it came to an end because they were having they were really trying to control.
Yeah,
the network was really trying to control what Dave Chappelle was.
His creativity. They were trying to really like lock that shit down.
Yeah, and so I just, of course, this is a classic show for me, and I think for everybody, because it's like it was almost like I felt like Eddie Murphy made a show. You know what I mean? Like it felt like that to me.
I agree. Like if after Eddie Murphy did Raw and Delirious, then he went into the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I agree with that thoroughly. Like on Bunny falling down the stairs. Mm-hmm. Like I would have loved to see that on a Chappelle Show.
Yeah, and so believe it or not, the inspiration for the Chappelle Show came from Hugh Hefner.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wait, tell me about this.
So Dave Chappelle went to a party at the Playboy Mansion. Mm-hmm. And Hugh Hefner used to do these shows at the Playboy Mansion where he would interview comedians and musicians, and then they would play to everybody at the party. Mm-hmm. And so he was just inspired to do a show like that.
Okay.
So that's where the inspiration was born. Then
that's where the seed got planted.
Yes, that's where the seed got planted. And then the actual make of the show was inspired by Saturday Night Live.
Like that kind of comedy sketch format.
Comedy sketch format, yes. But so it was those 2 things that really brought the show together for Dave Chappelle, which I didn't know. I thought that was very interesting. And some of the most notable sketches from the Chappelle Show.
Before you say that, let's read some comments because quite a bit have scrolled in. So right off the back, Eddie says Charlie Murphy.
That was one.
And then Melissa says love the Chappelle Show. Also too, if anybody doesn't know, Chappelle Show randomly popped up on Netflix and then HBO Max.
Yeah.
Chappelle Show has Dave Chappelle has a very good relationship with Netflix. He asked them to remove it because Comedy Central still has not paid him his rights for a Chappelle Show. And I'm not sure if it's still on HBO Max, but I know that he was asking his fans to loyally not watch it on HBO Max because he didn't want them to make money off of a show that initially, when he went to that network, they were basically like, what do we need you for?
Right. So that was one of my talking points, was that HBO turned him down.
Yeah, and then they had the audacity to put him on his network.
I mean, they're chasing that money.
So, and then Mark says, it sounds kind of sad, but I still love the King of Queens. To me, it's such a cozy early morning.
It is.
Watch while eating your breakfast show. I love it.
Kings of Queens is a great show.
I vaguely remember it.
That's what
I know. It's the girl who joined Scientology.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then Eddie says it's coming back. Thank you, Netflix. Oh, is it? You know what? Because Dave Chappelle's probably gonna work something out with them, which rightfully so. He should get his fucking coin. And then Mark says, "What are you guys drinking tonight?" It is a Ravenswood Cabernet Sauvignon. And then Eddie says, "Eddie, if you're right, that's amazing news." Talking about it coming back to Netflix.
I hope so. I mean, that's really exciting. I mean, I would love to see some of the new characters that they've come up with. Some of the more notable characters were the front line, Bill Bixby.
Yo. They stink.
Bill Bixby, the black white supremacist. I will not be having any of this goddamn negative.
He was like, "You want me to take off my covering?"
He said,
"You're like, yeah."
He said, black, white, Jews, Chinese people, niggers, they all stink. Oh man, and only Dave Chappelle could do something like that.
Yo, I'm like imagining it in my head because Dave Chappelle's sitting on the board and he's got his eyes rolled up in his head and he's like.
You know, the skits that this guy would come up with were just mind blowing. I mean, one of the ones that I remember just clear as day was actually the first episode, the first skit that they aired on the first episode, which where they were making fun of that girl, the one that there was this commercial, where she would dance in the commercial, right? And then, so Dave Chappelle, he's driving in a Mitsubishi Eclipse, and all of a sudden he sees some girl like dancing on the side of the highway. He's like, "Oh shit, let me go stop and pick her up." He goes, pick up the shorty, and she's like, she needs a ride, and then she jumps in the car and she's doing this dance, and they're making fun of the way that this whole commercial that this girl was on, and all of a sudden,
I remember this.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. And so then all of a sudden, Dave Chappelle kicks her out the car, drives a few blocks, picks up this black girl, and then they're like, they're jamming out to like hip hop music and stuff.
Oh, her titty pops out.
Yes.
that one
I remember the titty popping out.
And then,
the white girl, I remember.
But I think the best part about that was Dave Chappelle then shows the outtake where you see the titty pop out, and he's like.
And to me, that was like, that set the tone of the show. I was like, yo, this is going to be the best fucking show ever.
I don't want to spoil any more of your things because there's one really memorable thing for me, so continue before I say something.
And then another one that I loved was Pop Copy.
He was like, "Welcome to Pop Copy. Control Team Manager, I am the manager." That shit was great.
And another one was the Charlie Murphy Hollywood Stories.
Oh, well, what are you talking about when he talks about Prince?
Well, not only Prince, Charlie Murphy, he had his like this Hollywood Stories segment that he would do, and I think it was like it was on a couple episodes, but one of them was the Prince. Mm-hmm. When he talked about Prince, and then they recreated that whole scene, where Dave Chappelle dresses up as Prince, and they show them come in, and then they end up going back to his house and playing basketball and eating pancakes, and listen, Eddie Murphy, Charlie Murphy had the best Hollywood stories ever, and I didn't know that Charlie Murphy was actually a large part of the writing.
Yes, he was.
Of the episodes.
In addition to that basketball scene, that's a true story.
It's a true story, yeah. That was the best part about Charlie Murphy stories, is that they were true stories. And he told them in such a comedic way that you could just literally air these things and it would just be an episode.
Yeah, honestly, I think we could talk for days about a lot of, because I want you to finish before there's another one that pops into my head. And
then the last character that was most memorable to me was motherfucking Tyrone Biggums.
Didn't we just talk about him?
Well, you brought him up real quick, but no, that was Bill Bixby.
Oh shit!
Tyrone Biggums was there. Yeah, I heard about you guys got the 5 o'clock free crack giveaway. He's like sprinkling crack on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I mean, listen, I seriously hope that they bring the show back, man.
That would be honestly fucking
everything
amazing.
else that Dave Chappelle's come out with after that has been nothing but great. So I can't imagine that the show is going to be anything less. And that's all I got on Dave Chappelle.
That's all I got for you.
That's all I got.
So funny story. Anyway, I got it. I would love for that show to come back for a multitude of reasons. I just think that in this day and age, we all need a good fucking laugh. And who better than Dave Chappelle to do it? Because I have said this in the past. I think Dave Chappelle is a national treasure. And he needs to be protected at all costs. And
him and Tom Hanks?
Yo, him, Tom Hanks, Jim Carrey. Could you imagine Jim Carrey being on... Okay,
you know who else is a national treasure?
He's not. They must not be that national treasure that you can't remember it.
Keanu Reeves.
Bitch, please.
Keanu
you
Reeves.
should not speak his name.
Keanu Reeves.
You mean John Wick?
No. Keanu Reeves.
I know. He's John Wick. He's Neo.
Motherfucking person. I just read. This is a little off topic, but I just read that from Matrix. Mm-hmm. As the series Matrix came out, he actually was signing better and better deals. Mm-hmm. One of them, which he got a front end deal paycheck of $50 million, and then a back end deal of $200 million, right? Mm-hmm. And off of that deal, he ended up giving $1 million to every single person
on the crew.
In addition to that, he bought them a $50,000 motorcycle that they all still get together and they ride.
Yeah.
What?
He's the man.
He made them all millionaires.
He's the man.
National treasure. That's all I gotta say. He's at the top of the list. Like I can't think of a better human being. I mean,
do you want to know something that I just learned that I thought was an amazing fun fact that I fucking my dumbass it totally like blew past like right over my head. What? That Neo's an anagram. What? Cause spelled not an anagram. Neo spelled backwards is one. The one.
Oh.
He's the one, so he's Neo. Duh. How many, like, I can't even say how many times I've watched The Matrix and my dumbass didn't pick up on that.
I didn't even know that.
Anyway,
we digress.
I digress.
We digress.
Right? So let me read a few comments. So, EDJ says that King of Queens, that they love it, it's cute. And then Max says the Prince skit will go down in history. It was even on Prince's Breakfast Can't Wait album.
Fuck your couch there.
Yeah. The Racial Draft Classic. Rick James, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Listen, this is what I'm saying. I think that we could have talked about all of the skits. Yeah. Come on, think about the time that Dave Chappelle did the skits with the Muppets when he was talking about STDs. He was like, "Hey, gonorrhea, how you doing?" Like,
Neo backwards is not one.
Yes, it is. If you spell it backwards, it's
no, it's not.
It's one. Neo N-E-O. Yes,
no,
O-N-E.
One. O-E-N is Neo spelled backwards.
What?
The N is not.
What he's saying is that there's an E at the end of one, so it can't be Neo spelled backwards.
That's Neo spelled backwards. O-E-N. One is O-N-E. It's not one.
Oh, well backwards. Then where did I read that?
I don't know. I know you read
Some
it.
Some crackhead probably told
I
you
know
that.
You definitely read it because you stay reading facts.
What's the name of this crackhead we just learned from?
Tyrone Biggums.
Tyrone Biggums told me that shit. He told me that shit. And then, okay, so Max says, fun fact, Charlie Murphy was vet and a black belt in karate.
I did not know that.
You want to know a really fun fact? One of my best friends used to tutor his children.
Oh, shit.
And by the way, God rest his soul, because Charlie Murphy has passed on. And then Mark says, yeah, was a true story. I still can't believe Cool Runnings was a true story. Real quick, I just want to say something. I got hella family on here tonight.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my fam. I got my cousin on here. I got my brother on here. I got my sister-in-law on here. I got my two best friends who are my sisters on here.
And your mother-in-law's on here.
Oh, and my mother. Listen, we got mad fam on here tonight.
Family in the house.
And then what's his name? Mark says Keanu Reeves was great, but for me, Denzel and DiCaprio are the greatest I've ever seen. Yes. Acting wise, I think that they're great, but we're talking about people being national treasures. I could do without Leonardo DiCaprio. If something happened to Keanu Reeves, a bitch is rioting. That's all I gotta say. And then Melissa says one Neo.
Yeah, because they were trying to figure it out too. When you said Neo spelled backwards,
yeah, because if you spell Okay, so like basically, I guess if you switch the letters, it still spells Neo somehow. Like if you do One, it's the one.
But not in that order that you
Yes,
said it
you're
was.
correct. You're
Yeah,
correct.
because when you said that it's Neo's one, I'm like, yo, wait a second. I don't think that makes sense.
Max is like, Sanka, what you breathing? Listen, me and Max used to watch that movie religiously. It's a Disney movie.
Is it?
Yeah, Cool Runnings is a Disney movie. Yes.
That was a good movie though. I really enjoyed that.
And then Mark says, shout out to the fam in UK. Mark is our unofficial United Kingdom family. So actually, we have about 20 minutes left in the stream. That brings us to our top 5 for the night. So our top 5 for the night, since we talked about shows that we fucking love, that are like some of the most epic shows that you've seen, we decided to make our top 5 about shows that started off amazing and then fell the fuck off. Okay? So let's start off with our number 5. And the number 5 spot goes to, sadly, The Walking Dead.
Damn.
Okay, so
started off with such good potential.
Okay, so you and I were avid Walking Dead watching fans.
Yeah, we were.
Like, we were hardcore, okay? And I had the great pleasure of meeting Norman Reedus.
Yes. Which was dope. I couldn't believe that happened to you.
And honestly, well, I got to meet him and I got to meet John Berthenol.
You didn't just meet him. You sat down and had a dinner with him.
You worked with Norman Reedus.
Yes, I got to work with Norman Reedus, which honestly was such a privilege. Not because he was on Walking Dead, because he was just an amazing person. I also got to meet John Berthenol. And let me just tell you what an uncomfortable conversation that was when Norman Reedus turned to me and said, so do you watch Walking Dead? I was like,
don't.
I was like, actually.
You were like Homer Simpson when he fades into the bushes. Like,
I was like, ooh. So
what'd you say to him? I want to hear the rest.
I honestly said the truth to him, and I still to this day I think about that conversation. I was scared, and I said to him, I said, listen, I said, I used to thoroughly watch The Walking Dead. I said, but after the beginning of season 7, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear this, cover your ears, okay? When they bashed in Glenn's brains,
it was over.
A bitch was done.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
I said, nada más. Yeah. Turn this shit off. I don't want to see this shit anymore.
His response to it?
A piece of me died when it did, but I still gave the show a shot.
And Abraham.
But you wrote the show off. When that happened, you were done.
I legit was like, I don't ever want to watch this show ever again.
I actually continued watching the show without you.
I'm going to tell you why. Because Glenn is the reason why Rip Grimes was alive. Yeah. Glenn saved him. Okay, Glenn was the MVP of that show. And the way that they did him dirty, I was done with that shit.
In all honesty, the way he died was bullshit. It was bullshit.
First of all, fuck Negan.
Yeah.
Okay? Fuck Negan. Glenn was the man, and
I would have rather Glenn died when he got attacked by the zombies in the dumpster. I would have much rather he would have went out like that in a blazing glory.
You know what I'm saying? Right there.
After all that zombie fighting, let the zombies take his ass out.
Listen, I can't even tell you how much. So the conversation that I had with Norman Reedus, when I told him that I stopped watching it after that happened, he goes, "You and a lot of other people." And he goes, this is exactly what he said to me. He said, we had a different showrunner at that time. He goes, we have someone new now. This person is taking the show in a very great direction. I think you should start watching again. And Norman, I love you because I'm going to tell you why I love Norman. Again, he was an amazing person. Yeah. Just honestly, working him was such an amazing experience. Because I feel like sometimes actors get a bad rap. But he was an amazing person. Norman, I apologize. I never watched it. I couldn't do it.
I'm thinking to myself, that should never happen.
That should never happen, bro.
That should never happen.
Okay, I came home. I was like, he was a great guy. I ain't watching that fucking show ever again.
Can't do it. Sorry. I don't like this ending.
Okay, so Mark says, Mateo correcting his mom. Listen, Mark, if you were in our household, you would see the everyday damn battles that me and Mateo have with each other about from the smallest to the hugest things.
All she has to do is stop being wrong and stop correcting her. It's not hard.
But Mateo and me, we can't help it. We are both earth signs and we think we fucking know it all. So, and then Gina says that she just stopped watching it.
So did you. So did you. I actually.
What do you mean? No, I think she means that she just stopped watching it, like recently.
Oh, you just stopped.
Yeah, because it's still airing.
Yeah, you were just talking about that. Yeah, no, you literally stopped watching it because of that. I felt like I had so much invested in the show that I needed to give it a little bit more time. I needed to like just see what was going to follow. Do it. And I kind of wish that I would have wrote it off when you did.
I couldn't. I'm telling you, I could not.
You know what? I enjoyed the beginning of Negan. I enjoyed when they introduced Negan. I enjoyed that.
I did too.
But that once they got into his whole compound,
I was done.
Ran the compound,
I was fucking done. I told you they killed my boy. Listen, I poured out a 40 for him, and I said, "That's it. I'm done." Okay. And then Max says, "I'll be that one guy. I never liked it." Fine, listen.
Yo, be that one. Yeah, Max,
and then
okay.
Walking Dead, that's it. And then Eddie says, "Thank you for saying it. Walking Dead fell off big time. Started the spin-off Fear of the Walking Dead to revive the series, but nope, sorry. We also watched Fear of the Walking Dead. And then it like went in this route where I was just like, okay, wait a minute. They didn't even explain how the virus started. It was just like, it was before the virus hit, and then the next thing you knew, the virus hit. They didn't tell you where the virus came from. That shit pissed me off. We watched like 2 episodes of that, and then I was like, fuck you. Right? I don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah, at least could have had like a bat bite somebody or something.
And then Mark says he wants to know when he's going to see Country Chris. And then Corey says, haha, Mateo. Yo, listen, Mateo be getting mad love on this stream. I kind of love that. And then Gina's saying no in the middle. She just stopped. And Melissa says she never watched it. So this is my point. People understand. And this is why it took the number 5 spot. And the reason why it took the number 5 spot is because we watched it for 7 seasons until we stopped watching it.
We did.
And up until those 7 seasons, I was very happy with that show. Especially the fact that they portrayed women as extremely strong lead roles in that show.
I mean, listen, it came off to a strong start.
Oh, and what? I wanted to be Michonne. Listen, when they entered Michonne, she was walking with those 2 zombies on chains, and she had the hoodie on. A bitch was like, who the fuck is she? I want to be her right now. Okay? And then they made her fall in love with Rick, and I was like, I'm done. I gotta go. But then she went off to be in Wakanda, so I'm happy about that. So let's go to the number 4 show that started off amazing and then just fell the fuck off. Okay? And the number 4 spot goes to Dexter.
Damn, Dexter.
And if anyone in the audience doesn't know about this show, Dexter, I will give you a really quick synopsis. It is about a person who works in the police department as a blood splatter specialist, or expert rather. He analyzes blood splatter. But on the low, he is a ravenous, killing
vigilante.
Murderer. He murders, but he kills the bad for the good. He kills people who are committing heinous crimes, and he is a pro at it. Yeah. So basically, that's what the whole show is about how he lives out his life. So I'm just gonna tell you this: even when we were avid Dexter watchers, to the point where
he influenced the way we eat our breakfast.
Yes. We used to watch the intro to Dexter, and if anybody has seen it in the audience, he used to, there was a scene where you would see him put hot sauce on his ham and eggs.
Yes.
And we watched that so many times that we were like, hot sauce on ham and eggs? Why don't we try it?
We were like, what's that about?
Yo, and we did it, and there was no turning back.
And we entered the mind of a psycho killer.
Psycho killer.
So bad, so much to the point that I started putting hot sauce on every breakfast that I ate. It got to a point where I actually needed an intervention. Yo,
that show did so many weird things to us because I was just like, where's Dexter? Like, I can't tell you how many times I was just like, I would see something on the news and I'd be like, can somebody find Dexter for me, please? Can they just call him to chop this motherfucker up and throw him in the bottom of the ocean, please?
I want to know, does anybody put hot sauce on their eggs? I just want to know that, or is it literally just us? I mean, because it got to the point for me, it looked like an accident scene on my breakfast.
Yes.
I mean, I was putting.
It looked like a blood splatter.
It looked like a blood splatter scene on my breakfast. It got so bad because I used to like Frank's. I would just sit there and dump Frank's all over the top of my breakfast to the point where I had to stop. I literally.
How was it, Evo?
Oh my god! To the point where I stopped eating Franks. It was just, it got too much. Yeah, I did like.
Oh wow, we haven't had Franks in a long time. Because you know why?
Yeah.
Because we leveled up.
We leveled up. And
We're actually like, we're like on ghost pepper at this point.
Exactly.
We eat food, I don't even taste it. My mouth just burns the whole time while I eat it.
The other day we had ramen. I put sriracha in there, and then I started dumping ghost pepper sauce on top. Like,
yeah, we actually have problems.
It's all because of Dexter.
And then Corey says never watched it and couldn't even start. And I think she's talking about The Walking Dead, because then she says, Dexter, but like I couldn't get past season 3 or 4. This is what I'm saying. So let me just read to you what I wrote here. So Dexter, interesting premise, amazing murder cases in the beginning, serial killer brother storyline, which was amazing, the psycho girlfriend, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. And
afterwards, everything just goes fucking stale. And I'm gonna tell you what it really was for me. That really just blew my wig cap back. When Dexter started fucking his stepsister or the adopted sister, I was like, yeah, I think I'm fucking done with this show. Yeah. I don't want to watch this shit anymore.
I don't know who the fuck thought that shit would have been a good idea to put that shit on the show, but
okay,
it was over for us at that.
It honestly was so done for me after that. I was just like, I can't watch this anymore. And then sadly, the actor from Dexter, he wound up getting cancer. So like, I felt bad, but I still didn't watch it. So let's move on to number 3. But I'm just gonna read some comments. So Stephanie says, yeah, Dexter was another great series. And then Corey says yes to the hot sauce on egg, so she does it. And then Stephanie says, I put sriracha. And then Max says, me, of course, hot sauce has always been my jam. And then Melissa says, no, Evo, it's just you.
Melissa, but I know what you do rock with me on, Melissa. All
right? Oh, God.
But that's just between me and you.
Oh, that sounds mad sus.
Nah, ain't not sus about it.
And then EDJ says, you're the only one. Always look for hot sauce. It's so true. We go to the house, we be like, yo, where the hot sauce at?
Yo, you guys got hot sauce? She'd be like,
Always. So let's move on to our number 3. Our number 3 for the night goes to the show Power. Again, maybe you ladies and gentlemen have not seen this show. Ghost was our motherfucking dude.
Well, but we want to just like take a few steps back. So Power for me started off on a slow note. Like I had to like really get into I didn't like the acting in Power at the beginning.
Really?
I didn't like any of the acting, especially Tommy. I fucking love Tommy. I didn't like his Tom. I don't know. But
I love that white boy gangster shit.
I ended up getting hooked into the story.
Yes, because you know why? Again, here we go talking about being on the streets. You felt like that shit was real street life.
Yes.
Right? Oh. When Tommy was rolling up the places, it'd be like, yo, where the fuck my money at?
The whole story just felt real to me. And then that was eventually what I got hooked into.
Yo, Power was our shit.
Yeah, it was.
Okay? And then I'm going to tell you what happened. He got wrapped up with this bitch, Angela. And the bitch was done.
Yeah, and there was just too many close calls.
Oh my God.
There's no way that you're going to be sleeping with an FBI agent and have that many, like, just like, escaping by the skin of your teeth, like, type of situations. I'm not like, fuck,
I'm going to say this, right? I'm a Latina. Angela, she could have got shot the first episode for me, bro. Once he hit it, I'd have been like, okay, I got to get rid of you, bitch. She was so annoying.
You know what? Not all the characters actually, they eventually grew on me. Even Tommy. Tommy grew on me.
Listen, I love Tommy from day one.
No, I didn't, but he did grow on me. I actually really liked Tommy after, like, I think the second episode.
But then we got to see Tommy again in, he was in, what's the show that we watch about drugs in, the Ozarks?
Yes.
And he played... Yes, he played the same kind of character a little bit, but kind of not sort of. Listen, okay, the Ozarks is an amazing show, but we were talking about shows of all time, and the shows that we spoke about before, they started and they ended.
Yeah, let's not bring the Ozark into this conversation, please.
Yeah, because we could have went on forever. The Ozark, Succession,
yeah.
like
whoa. We're talking about nosedive shows. Right? Let's not bring that greatness into this.
Okay,
right?
So Power for us, again, it was one of those shows that it started off so strong. Yeah. We love Ghost. We love Tommy. Angela could have fucking got a bullet in her head from day one for me.
And I love the fact that 50 was, like, involved in all this. Like, the fact that was his show and he came out and it was such a success, it made it even better.
So Gina says, look, Gina says, another one I just stopped watching. Someone give me their username and password so I could watch. Like,
Gina.
And then Melissa says, I like Power, but Tommy, he's my favorite. Tommy was cool though. And then Andrew Acevedo says Tommy's name should have been Ghost. Yo, I agree with that. Not for nothing.
Yeah, Tommy
was that dude. And then Melissa says, yes, Drew, and I hate Tariq. I hate his face and everything. Okay, I love that people are concurring with us because I feel people's energy right now. I'm just like, did you hate it as much as I did? Because I hated so many people in that show. But like I said, Angela, she could have got one from day one. So let's move on to number 2. The number 2 spot of a show that was amazing in the beginning and then just fell the fuck off was The Orange is the New Black. Come on. The first 2 seasons of The Orange is the New Black, you were so wrapped up in so many of the characters in the show and what was happening about the girl who got pregnant by the security guard, about how this white girl was being integrated into prison.
Right.
And then, and then the chick that was crazy. You had all these storylines going on that it made you so invested. And then after the first 2 seasons where you learned about each of these characters' storyline and what landed them in prison, after that, it was just like, okay, how much further can you go with this storyline?
Yeah.
Because after season 2, I was done. I think I maybe watched the first 1 or 2 episodes of season 3, and then it was a wrap for me after that.
Yeah. I lost it after that. And I mean, again, it's just another one of those prison shows where I'm just like...
I mean, it was a little bit different because there were aspects of it about, what happens as a female in the prison world, which I think is something very different than what you normally see. But I just feel like, and the reason why it takes the number 2 spot is because it only gave us 2 good seasons.
Yeah.
I feel like after 2, if you can only give, and generally seasons now only give you anywhere from 8 to 12 episodes. So what, I get 24 episodes and then you fucking fall the fuck off for me?
You know who's my favorite character? The black girl. The crazy one.
Which one? There's a couple.
No,
okay,
the crazy
hold on.
one.
Okay, I'm gonna give you her name right now.
She was. I loved her because you know what? She just reminded me
With
of
the dreads.
Yeah, the one. She was just like, she would snap and she would get crazy, but like I felt like that she played that character so well.
Yes, and you know what I think is crazy though? I think it's sometimes she embodied that character.
Yeah, she did. She definitely pulled that character from somewhere. Because that to me that was a real character. I felt like I've seen.
I just want to give you her name so that you feel better about yourself. Susanna. Even though I know that doesn't feel appropriate.
She's definitely not like that. Character is not a Susanna, but I mean, whatever, she was named that in the show, and so be it. But wait, that's her name that's her real name?
Yes, Susanna.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I thought that was her name in the show.
Her name in the show is Susanna.
Right, but the actress's name, her real name.
Her name is like pronounced Uzo.
Yeah. So like, I felt like that character should have had a name like that.
Yeah, and the main character Piper.
Crazy Eyes. Yes.
Oh yes,
Susanna
Crazy Eyes, because she was like, "Are you fucking talking to me?" Like so. And then Melissa says she never watched Orange, and then look so. Oh my God, yes, Orange is the New Black fell off. This is what I'm saying. And then Max said that he never saw it. Guys, it's hard to behave amongst these things. But, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like I think I watched, like, the first... And I give a lot of credit to people who watch these shows past a certain point. Because I still see people posting things about Power. I saw people still posting things after season 2 of The Orange is the New Black. And I'm like, you still watching this shit? How are you sitting down and giving your valuable time to this garbage?
Not me.
Because that shit was straight garbage.
Not this guy.
So we actually only have about a minute left. And Mateo, if you could just go to the last video, don't expose it yet. But I'm just going to tell you what takes the number 1 spot for me of a show that started off amazing and then fell the fuck off. And if you were here early in the stream, I'm going to tell you, I said that I was going to get these DC fans riled up
There
again.
you go. DC, another one.
Okay. A DC show that started off amazing and then fell the fuck off for me was The Flash. Okay? Barry Allen?
My name is Flash.
How fast does that make you?
It means it makes really
This is what
fast.
happened to The Flash.
Let me see how fast.
Oh my god, I'm gonna just bloody motherfucker.
Oh!
That's what happened after the first.
Cut it.
Listen, that's what happened after the first season of The Flash, okay?
The Flash was like, season 1.
He was like, my name is Barry Allen, and I'm the fastest man alive. Let me show you how fast I could put this show right in the trash, okay?
You know what I find funny? He says he's the fastest man alive, and the show shows you like 4 different people that are faster than him.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I never got into the show.
Well, because there's different universes.
Oh, okay.
So that's part of my argument. So let me get into this, okay? Let me get into this for you, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So the Flash, my son and I, Mateo, started to watch The Flash because, again, I'm a huge comic superhero fan.
Right.
And when my son came to me and said, "Mom, do you want to watch The Flash with me?" I was all for it.
Did I say that?
Yeah, we watched it together. That was something that we did together. And I just want to say that The Flash is my son Mateo's favorite superhero character, correct?
One of
Well, yeah.
them.
Well, I would say they're in your top 3.
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, so when he asked me to watch the show with him, I was all for it. I was like, you know what? Yes. We watched the first season. I was invested. I was like, yo, this is actually like, it definitely has like kind of like that novella feel to it, but it was so good. And then season 2 came. And I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
Zoom wasn't really that bad of a villain.
Okay, it wasn't about the villain, Mateo. It was about how they showed the storyline. And then as each season went on, what really started to blow my shit on that show was every fucking person on the show had superpowers at some point. It was like, first it was Barry Allen, then it was Killer Frost, then it was Vibe, then it was the stepmother of the cop. She had fucking superpowers. Then it was the son, Wally West, and then it was the chick from the other universe. Then it was the gorilla guy. Everybody had fucking
Okay,
superpowers.
Gorilla Grodd, he's actually pretty
Okay,
good.
Gorilla Grodd. I did kind of like him, but I'm gonna say this: the show kind of blew my shit because it was just like, I love Barry Allen, okay, but they diminished his value as the fastest man alive when they introduced like 15 other fucking characters that had superpowers. Yo, her name was Killer Frost, Mr. Cold, Vi,
Captain Cold.
Captain Cold. Sorry. It just, I'm sorry, I couldn't
Actual
do it.
characters,
It
though. All
just
actual
went from
characters.
being a cool show to being fucking cheesy. After season 1, I wrote that shit off like this. I was
Yeah.
like, here you go, take Flash, DC, and throw that shit right in the fucking
As many
garbage.
times as I sat down with you guys to watch that show, I just could not get into it. I tried. I really did. It just,
Telling you, Gotham was good.
yeah. I just couldn't do it.
Mateo will forever defend a lot of shows that come from DC, and I will.
No, I'm not just saying because it's DC. I'm telling you, Gotham was good. You watched like 2 seconds, maybe like, oh no, I don't watch it.
Oh, because
But I'm telling you, it was a good show.
Okay, Mateo, I love you. You and I agree on certain things, but I do not agree with you. I do not think that Gotham was a good show.
Okay,
But
you watched like 2 seconds of it.
But I will say this.
And I
Did
watched
I
The
not
Office
support
too.
you in that journey?
No, you didn't.
Really? I didn't buy you tickets to go to a comic convention
I'm
2
not
days
talking
in a
about that. I'm talking about...
so that you can
No,
see.
Let me talk. Let me finish.
Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we
about
are
the facts.
fighting.
Cut your losses before you bury
No,
yourself.
go ahead.
Talk about...
Yeah, let him talk.
No, like, you
Just
didn't even watch it with me.
remind
You
you,
watched
you said
2 seconds of
You
it.
said she didn't support you.
Can I finish? Alright,
Okay.
so...
I just want to remind you. of
I
what she
kept
said.
watching it, you know?
Okay, you
So-
kept watching, but Mateo, I bought you tickets for your birthday.
And plus,
VIP.
you said you love the penguin. You love the penguin on that show.
I did love
You're like,
him.
oh, he's actually cool. I'd be cool to meet him. And then you met him in real life. You're like,
Okay.
oh my god.
I wasn't like, oh my god, calm down.
Yeah, you were.
Yo,
yeah, you
Mateo
were.
over here
You're
trying
like,
to act funny.
No, I'm being serious. That's how you were.
All right.
You're like, I love your
anyway,
role as
so-
Penguin.
Just for facts,
You
I
sounded
bought
like-
my son Mateo 2 VIP tickets to a comic convention so that he could see all of his favorite characters from Flash. What was the name of the other show, Mateo? After Flash that they did, Firestorm. What was the name of that show though? Was it Firestorm? We watched the whole thing together and watched Firestorm. Here we are. Here this kid don't even know what he's talking about, but that's fine.
DC
So-
Legends.
No, it wasn't DC Legends. It was
Tomorrow.
the show was Firestorm.
DC
It was
Legends of Tomorrow.
No, it was Killer Frost's boyfriend, the one who blew up in the building, and then he became Firestorm. He merged with the Doctor and the other guy. All right.
You mean
Anyway,
the show.
yes, and we watched the panel on it. Anyway, listen. Flash takes the #1 spot. DC, y'all fucked that up from season 1, and that shit goes in the trash.
And you think she wasn't kicking
And that
out
is
with
the end
Penguin?
of our live for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that we were able to give you a good laugh tonight and take your mind off of all of the bullshit that's going on in the world right now.
Yes, and we hope that outside of all the bullshit that's going on already in 2021, you look forward to talking shit with us on Fridays.
You mean shit talking?
Shit talking with us on
Listen,
Fridays. It's isn't it the same thing?
no, it's
Shit-
not the
it's
same
not,
thing.
It's shit talking and talking shit.
No,
not
but it's not
thing?
the same. It's not the same.
All right.
Yeah, it's not the
Listen,
same.
a woman's always right. We're
Okay.
gonna go with
At
that.
least he didn't say a woman always likes to complain like that
We're
dude
gonna go
fucking
with
that troll him before. But so I'm gonna read the rest of these comments and then we'll wrap it up for tonight. And then so Edgar says that's why DC is regulated. Oh wait, I already read that comment. They do the cartoon so good, but the live action sucks. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get so much slack for this, but a bitch don't care. Gotham fell, and then Edgar says Gotham also fell off too. Facts, okay? And Edgar is an avid comic, TV movie watcher. So like, if he's co-signing that,
Bro.
then I'm right.
The guy that played Joker in that show, his acting was amazing. Penguin was amazing. Jada Pinkett was in that. She was
Okay,
amazing.
doesn't matter. And
So-
Eddie says, Mateo said I was geeking out over Penguin. Okay,
Yeah, I
listen.
have a picture if you think I'm
I
playing.
love him though. I do because I thought he was. I thought he was a great copper pot. And then Melissa said the Flash. Threat was the character, not the show. DC Legends is correct. Okay, that was the character, not the show. DC Legends is correct. Okay, so and then Andrew Acevedo says it ain't the same. I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but he's probably talking about Flash because, listen, I love that show. There were a lot of villains that I enjoyed. I kind of enjoyed the storyline, but once they started to give everybody and anybody fucking superpowers, a bitch was done. Because Killer Frost for me was
You get a superpower, and you get a superpower, and you get a superpower.
Okay.
That was on the Oprah
They were
Winfrey
like,
shit.
you get blue contacts and blue hair, and now you're fucking a villain.
Oprah Winfrey was running that show.
Oh my god, I was so done with that. So that actually brings us to the end of our live for tonight. We're actually almost past 10 minutes.
Just look at this dude.
Listen, our cat is back here. He's ready. He's like, are you guys done? So yeah, that brings us to the end of our live. We want to thank everyone for
Yes.
joining with us tonight. We had so much fun being with you here tonight.
As always.
Yeah, as always. Honestly, Evo and I thoroughly look forward to this. The amount of prepping that goes into this sometimes is so stressful for us because we're like, man, we got to get it right for our audience, right?
It's always worth it though.
Yeah. So until next Friday, and next Friday there will actually be a celebration because we will be celebrating my birthday next Friday
Yes, we
because
will.
my birthday is January 18th. So come with your birthday cake and your drink of choice, whether it be alcohol or non-alcohol, to come celebrate my birthday, and we'll have some fun topics for you. But